Scaloni clears up doubts about Messi. Messi threatens closest throne in the World Cup. The champion's curse threatens Messi and his teammates in the 2026 World Cup. Pep Guardiola's comment on Messi's participation in the World Cup. And before we begin, don't forget to share with us in the comments which of you wants to see Messi in the next World Cup. And if you are a Messi follower, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow all the latest updates. 2026 World Cup. Scaloni clears up doubts about Messi. Amid a worrying wave of injuries days before the World Cup begins, Argentina national team head coach Lionel Scaloni cleared up doubts about the participation of several stars after announcing the defending champions' final list. And the Argentine Football Association announced on Thursday night, local time, Friday morning, Greenwich time, the national team's list for the World Cup, which is being held in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, where it included 26 players, led by team captain Lionel Messi. And the Argentine national team is seeking to win the World Cup for the fourth time in its history and the second consecutive time after having won the title in 1978, 1986, and 2022. And among the players called up, there were 17 players from the team that was crowned champion 4 years ago in the final match against France. And the participation of several of those players was questioned due to injuries of varying severity, days before the final date established by the International Federation of Association Football, FIFA, June 1st, to put the finishing touches on the lists of the teams participating in the World Cup. And among them was Messi, who will celebrate his 39th birthday in less than a month, who is currently suffering from muscle fatigue and tension in the hamstring tendons of his left leg. And American Inter Miami officially announced that Messi's recovery period will depend on his clinical and functional progress. And the Argentine magician is preparing to participate in the World Cup for the 6th time, after having appeared in the editions of Germany 2006, South Africa 2010, Brazil 2014, Russia 2018, and Qatar 2022. And the participation of goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez in the World Cup was also confirmed, despite having suffered a fracture in a finger on his right hand during the European League final last week. And Scaloni also included defender Cristian Romero, who is recovering from a sprain in the lateral ligament of his right knee, which he suffered in mid-April while playing with England's Tottenham Hotspur. And the fullbacks Nahuel Molina and Gonzalo Montiel are present, who scored 2 decisive penalty goals in the 2022 World Cup final against France, as both are recovering from muscle injuries. And the Argentine national team opens its matches in the World Cup next June 16th, facing its Algerian counterpart within the competitions of Group 10 in the tournament's group stage, which also includes the national teams of Austria and Jordan. And the tango dancers are expected to travel to their official World Cup residence in Kansas City on Saturday, where they will play 2 friendly matches against Honduras and Iceland before the beginning of the World Cup. And the Argentine national team list came as follows. Goalkeepers: Emiliano Martinez, England's Aston Villa; Geronimo Rulli, France's Olympique Marseille; Juan Musso, Spain's Atletico Madrid. Defenders: Gonzalo Montiel, Argentina's River Plate; Nahuel Molina, Atletico Madrid; Lisandro Martinez, England's Manchester United; Nicolas Otamendi, Portugal's Benfica; Leonardo Valente and Facundo Medina, Olympique Marseille; Cristian Romero, Tottenham; Nicolas Tagliafico, France's Olympique Lyon. Midfielders: Giovanni Lo Celso, Spain's Real Betis; Leandro Paredes, Argentina's Boca Juniors; Rodrigo de Paul, Inter Miami; Ezequiel Palacios, Germany's Bayer Leverkusen; Enzo Fernandez, England's Chelsea; Alexis McAllister, England's Liverpool; Valentin Barco, France's Strasbourg. Forwards: Lionel Messi, Inter Miami; Julian Alvarez, Nicolas Gonzalez, and Giuliano Simeone, Atletico Madrid; Lautaro Martinez, Italy's Inter Milan; José Manuel Lopez, Brazil's Palmeiras; Thiago Almada, France's Lyon; Nico Paz, Italy's Como. Messi threatens closest throne in the World Cup. With the start of the 2026 World Cup tournament approaching, the journey continues to review the most notable historical numbers and relevant statistics in World Cup history. And only 16 days remain until the start of the World Cup, which will be held in the United States, Canada, and Mexico during the period from June 11th to July 19th. And Germany's Miroslav Klose is considered the player who has achieved the most victories in World Cup history, after having come out as the winner in 17 matches. And he is being chased by both Brazil's Cafu and Argentina's Lionel Messi, with a record of 16 victories each. And Messi will claim the record if he achieves 2 victories in the 2026 World Cup. And Klose achieved 5 victories in each of the 2002 editions in the Republic of Korea and Japan, 2006 in Germany, and 2010 in South Africa, before adding 2 more victories in the 2014 edition in Brazil. and he became the only player to be crowned with 4 different World Cup medals, after combining gold, silver, and 2 bronzes. And Klose's superiority does not stop at the number of victories, since he also leads the list of the World Cup's all-time top scorers, with a record of 16 goals. And it seems that the competition for this record will heat up in the next edition, with Messi getting closer, 13 goals, and Kylian Mbappé, 12 goals, to Klose's record. The champion's curse threatens Messi and his teammates in the 2026 World Cup. What happened in the 1982 World Cup with the defending champions? Argentina went to the 1982 World Cup 44 years ago, carrying the title of world champion, and with it, Diego Maradona and the stars of 1978, returning early from the second round. But today, and with the 2026 World Cup in America, Canada, and Mexico approaching, the ghost of that fall is showing its head again. And this time, from the mouth of one of the builders of the glory of 1978. And former star Daniel Bertoni warned, in an interview with the French press agency, that Argentina's chances of defending its title could suffer a strong blow if coach Lionel Scaloni relies excessively on the players who were crowned in Qatar 4 years ago. And Argentina's lineup is expected to include its inspiring captain Lionel Messi, along with 16 more players from the 2022 list. And Bertoni said, "I think Argentina is a candidate, considering our record of reaching the final 6 times and winning 3 times, but he corrected himself with a warning. If we believe that we will become champions again because of our name and what we have achieved previously, that is a mistake." And he added, "What could really kill Argentina is Coach Scaloni's excessive dependence on the players who brought the title 4 years ago." And it was Bertoni who scored a goal in Argentina's 3-1 victory over the Netherlands in the 1998 final in Buenos Aires, part of the 1982 lineup, which said goodbye to the tournament early despite including Maradona. And about Messi, who was chosen again as captain with the hope of his recovery from a hamstring injury that forced him to leave the field last Sunday with Inter Miami against Philadelphia, Bertoni said. "He remains a crucial player, but he is approaching 40. He will turn 39 next June 24th. And we must see his physical condition." And he continued, "He no longer plays at the highest level at club level, and he will miss Angel Di Maria, who after Messi was a crucial element in the 2022 World Cup. And Bertoni, who after 1978 played professionally in Sevilla and Napoli, relied on his personal experience to speak about the pressure of defending the title. Everything depends on the state of the lineup and the coach's ability to combine 2 realities, strengthening the idea that they are world champions and at the same time emphasizing the need to go out and present a serious defense of the title." And he concluded, "In the 1982 World Cup, we believed that, being world champions, we were capable of winning again with Diego Maradona and other new players. But it is always difficult. Everyone wants to win." Pep Guardiola's comment on Messi's participation in the World Cup. "I am sitting now, looking at Argentina's list announced by Lionel Scaloni, and when I see Lionel Messi's name there, the first thing I think about is not age. It is not injuries. It is not the years that have passed. The first thing I think is that soccer is still lucky. It is lucky that Messi is still here. It is lucky that a player like that, after having won everything, after having experienced every possible stage, after having lifted the World Cup in Qatar, still has the desire to compete again. Because that, to me, says much more than any statistic. Messi does not need to prove anything, absolutely nothing. But if he is on that list, if he accepted this challenge, if he wants to be in the World Cup again, it is because inside him there is still the same flame I saw when I coached him in Barcelona. And that is the most dangerous thing. Because many people look at Messi and say, he is 38 years old. He no longer runs like before. He no longer plays with the same speed. He can no longer repeat what he did when he was 24 or 25. And yes, of course, that is true. The body changes, soccer changes, time passes for everyone. But with Leo, there is something people sometimes forget. Messi was never great only because he ran faster than everyone else. Messi was great because he understood the game before everyone else, because he saw the pass before the space existed, because he knew where the defender was going to be, where his teammate was going to be, where the ball was going to fall, even before the play began. That does not disappear with age. That can even become stronger. The 38-year-old Messi is not the 28-year-old Messi. But that does not mean he is less dangerous. It means he is different. And sometimes, a different player can be even harder to control, because he no longer depends so much on explosion but on the pause. He no longer needs to eliminate 5 players with speed, because he can destroy you with one touch, with one look, with one small decision that changes the entire match. I know him very well. I saw him up close. I saw him train. I saw him compete. I saw him solve matches that seemed closed. I saw him do things that cannot be explained through tactics because they belong somewhere else. And that is why, when I see Messi on a World Cup list, I do not simply see a veteran player. I see a soccer player who can still alter the emotional state of an entire tournament. Argentina with Messi is different, not only because Messi can score a goal or give an assist. It is different because his teammates play with another kind of confidence when he is on the field. They know there is always a solution. They know that even if the match is locked, even if the rival defends deep, even if time is running out, Messi can find a door where no one else sees a door. That changes everything. It changes the way Argentina plays, but it also changes the way the rival plays. Because when you face Messi, you cannot think only about your plan. You also have to think about what he can invent. And when a player forces the rival to modify its behavior before touching the ball, that player is already influencing the match. That is what Leo did throughout his entire career. And he can still do it. Scaloni made a strong decision by trusting him again. But I also believe it is a logical decision. How can you not trust Messi if Messi still wants to be there? How can you not build around a player who has already proven that he can withstand the greatest pressure in the world? Qatar 2022 was not just a World Cup won by Argentina. It was the confirmation of an idea. The idea that a team can have youth, intensity, structure, sacrifice, order, but can also accept that there is a different player, a player who needs freedom, a player who is not measured by the same rules as the others. And Scaloni understood that very well. He built a team that did not ask Messi to be young again. It asked him to be Messi, nothing more. And that was enough to win the World Cup. Now the challenge will be different. Defending a world title is always harder than winning it. Everyone wants to beat you. Everyone studies you. Everyone arrives with extra motivation. And Argentina will feel that from the first match. But if there is a group that already knows how to live with pressure, it is this group. And if there is a player who knows how to transform pressure into clarity, it is Messi. As a coach, if I had to prepare a match against this Argentina, the question would not only be how to stop Messi. We have already asked that question many times, and it almost never had a definitive answer. The question would be how to prevent the match from reaching the rhythm Messi wants. Because if Messi manages to make the match be played at his speed, even if it seems slow, you are in trouble. Leo does not need to touch the ball 50 times to dominate a match. Sometimes 5 are enough for him. A reception between the lines, a pass into space, a pause near the box, a foul drawn, a set piece, a movement that drags 2 defenders and frees a teammate. That is influence. That is intelligence. That is soccer. We also have to be honest. The World Cup will be demanding. Age weighs. Matches weigh. The heat, the travel, the opponents, the intensity, all of that counts. Messi will not be able to play this tournament the way he played in 2014. But maybe Argentina does not need that either. Maybe it needs the Messi who knows how to choose the moments. The Messi who appears when the match needs a decision. The Messi who does not play every minute at the same rhythm, but who can change the fate of a match in a single play. And that, for any rival, is still an enormous threat. To me, Messi's presence in this World Cup is beautiful news for soccer. Because World Cups also need stories. They need symbols. They need players who connect generations. And Messi connects all of that. He connects those who saw him begin in Germany 2006, those who suffered with him in Brazil 2014, those who saw him touch the sky in Qatar 2022, and those who now want to see him one more time, perhaps for the last time, on the biggest stage. I do not know what will happen in this World Cup. Nobody knows. But I do know one thing. If Messi is there, Argentina has a real chance. Because with Leo, soccer is never completely predictable. You can analyze everything. You can prepare every detail. You can close spaces. You can study videos for hours. And even then, he can find something that was not in the plan. That is what makes him unique. That is why, when I see his name on the list, I do not think about the end. I think about one last great opportunity to see one of the greatest players in history compete once again against the world. And if I learned anything from Messi, it is that it is never wise to write him off too early. Because when everyone starts wondering if he can still do it, Leo usually answers in the only way that truly matters to him: playing soccer.